Hey friends, my name is Lydia and I'd love to lead you through a short restorative class that could support you to feel better when you're feeling really exhausted or maybe lead you towards sleep. We'll cycle through 3 forms, and if you have 2 thick yoga bricks, you can grab those and have them with you. We'll start with those. If you don't have those, then you might want to grab up 2 rolled up blankets and make them into sort of a blanket burrito. I'll show you what I mean. So we'll take those bricks and you can take them so they're vertical on the mat, and we'll lie our spine along those props. So if you like, you can take one lower and one a little bit on its higher height, on its medium height for your head. And if you had a blanket roll, you could have the whole thing uniform, but make sure your head's on the blanket roll. Okay, so we'll lower down onto that, aiming, if you have the blocks, aim that low block on your shoulder blades, and then let the higher block come to the back of your head and get to that just right spot. If it's feeling a little bit hard underneath you, feel free to throw a blanket over that as well. So you have some options with your feet. I like to have my feet planted here on the ground and my knees up, but you could also take the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out wide or outstretch your legs. So your choice. You can find that position that works for you. And then you're welcome to close your eyes. And when I'm on these props, sometimes I think that my body's the river and the props are the river stones. And letting myself flow over top of those, letting myself feel supported by the ground. And you're invited to slow down your breath with me. So you can take a breath in here. Exhale all the way to the bottom of your breath. Then inhale for 1, 2, 3. And exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, and pause your breath if you like. Hover there in stillness. And then exhale fully for 1, 2, 3. Again like that. Inhale to the top of your collarbones. Pause your breath at the top. Let yourself get heavy still. And exhale all the way to the bottom of your breath. You can keep a breath count, a breath rhythm that works for you. You might also take your arms a little more out to the side, maybe in a T position. You could explore bending your elbows and sort of making a W, or maybe a Y. Or some of you might reach your arms over your head and interlock your fingers and let your elbows bend and make an O. And take a breath in there and a breath out. And as you're ready, you can let your arms come down by your sides. And we'll roll over to one side to come off of our blocks or your blanket, and you can take those over to the side and land back down on your back. So we'll roll back down, find the ground, and let your hips move to the right a little, and let your knees come in towards your chest and your knees fall to the left. Okay, so some of you, if you feel like you'd like to have something in between your knees, you can take a block, one of your blocks, and place that in between your knees. And that might feel supportive. And some of you also, you could crisscross your right leg on top of your left, let your feet catch you, and that might give you a little more opportunity for stretch in your outer glute, maybe into your right side of your low back. And then you might press into your elbows and wiggle your chest more central. And maybe wiggle yourself into a little bit more of a twist. And let's take a few breaths together. So you're invited to inhale here, exhale to the bottom of your breath. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3. And exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. And exhale for 1, 2, 3. Okay, breath in all the way to the top. Pause your breath, hover there. And exhale all the way to the bottom of your breath. Maybe let yourself get a little more heavy. Maybe relax your eyes a little more. And we'll make a slow transition over to the other side. So if you've got a block there, you can take it out. One knee at a time brings you back to center. Hips to the center. And then hips to the left, knees in, and knees to the right. I'm going to take that block with me and place it in between my knees. Again, if you want a little more sensation on your outer left hip, you can crisscross your left knee on top of your right and let your feet catch you. Okay. Wherever you land there, you can dig your elbows into the floor, spiral yourself a little more into the twist, and find that placement of your arms that works for you. Let's land. Okay. Invited to inhale your breath. Exhale, find the bottom. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale all the way to the top of your breath. Pause there, get a little heavier, find your still place. Exhale to the bottom of your breath. And then as you're ready, we'll slow transition out of this. You can take the block out if you have it there, one knee at a time, back into center, hips in the middle. Okay, invited to take your right ankle on top of your left knee. And you can take your hands to your hips and just check in there that your hips are relatively even. So one hip might want to drop down towards the bottom of your mat. See if you can even it out. And then you can stay there and aim your right knee away from you. Maybe that's a great place to linger. Or you're welcome to bring your left knee in. You can curl up and take your hands behind the back of your left hamstring or your left knee, or maybe even on top of your left shin if you can reach, and draw that left knee in towards your chest. Something that I like to do here is to take a block underneath my head. I'm just going to do that. And it gives me a little bit more of a curling in feeling, which for me feels relaxing and calming. So you could try that. And just as much as you like, you might draw that left knee in. Maybe circle your left ankle. And let's take a couple breaths here. Your inhale. Exhale to the bottom of your breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Maybe wobbling. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale to the top of your breath. Pause at the top and maybe draw your left knee in a little closer towards you. And then as you exhale, let the whole thing go. Left foot finds the floor. Unhook your right foot. And maybe you can windshield wiper your knees side to side. Yeah. Let's try the other side. So right ankle or left ankle on top of your right knee. And you might want to stay there, check in with your hips. See if they're fairly equal from the bottom of your mat. And you might stay there or draw your right knee in. You totally don't have to have your head on a block, but you might want it there. Then you can hook behind your right hamstring or your right back of your knee. And maybe you wobble a little side to side here. I might be wobbling a little more if my mic wasn't there. So you can make the movements a little bigger if it feels good to you. Okay, land where you want to. Maybe roll out your right ankle. And you're invited to inhale your breath. Exhale it out. Then inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. When you inhale, find the top of your breath fill up your lungs. You might squeeze it in a little more. Find that kind of edge of sensation. Pause. And exhale, let the whole thing go. Right foot finds the earth. Unhook your left foot and wobble your knees side to side, almost like a massage for the back of your pelvis. Okay, maybe for some it feels good to keep your head on this block, or you can take that out, let it drop beside you. So find a spot that you'd like to linger in for the last few moments that we have here. That could be feet wide, feet planted, and knees together. It could be feet together, knees wide, if that feels supportive for you. Or it could be legs fully outstretched. So check it out. Check in with that place you want to land in. Your hands might be on your abdomen. They could be out to your side, palms facing up. And you might want to close your eyes here. Let's take our last few rounds of breath together. So inhale your breath. Exhale to the bottom of your breath. And inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, soften your body. 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Let your chest drop. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale all the way to the top of your breath. Pause at the top. Let your eyes sink back. And exhale to the bottom, maybe letting out a sigh here. And maybe if that breathing was supportive, stick with it. Or let your breath be easy and natural. And scan your body. And let some more of your body weight go. Look for places that are holding any unnecessary tension. And see if you can get curious about letting any amount of that go. Maybe with your exhale. Receiving the support of the ground. Maybe you find a place inside that feels spacious and pleasurable, or a little more free or a little less painful. And linger there with your attention. You're waiting for that space to grow. Now I'm gonna invite you to stay here for as long as is supportive for you. Thank you for sharing in the practice today. May you have peace.